they want to deny. We've seen him a lot this weekend, too. Rumble's been really, really popular here.
The Rumble bans have been very popular. The Equalizer is a very beautiful ultimate to have. You can actually extend farther than the range of where its casting radius is because it'll start to fall in that direction. Now, we've actually seen that hurt a few teams. They're going to take it out. We saw Crumbs from Dignitas playing an amazing Rumble within his matches, but right now, they don't want to see that in this CLG versus Legion match. CLG says Rumble out, Shen as well, and they're going to actually leave that Malphite Blitzcrank in the game. We see somewhat of a supporty jungle now coming from Loud Mortis.
This is very interesting here. What Counter Logic Gaming has done is they've grabbed Vladimir early. Now, Vladimir is a champion that screams to me, we want to play for team fights. We want to do battle. We want to fight you guys. And, oh, man, look at these picks right now. It's Orianna in mid, Vladimir in the top lane, and Hotshot is going to be jungling Cho'gath. And we saw jungle Cho'gath from Snoopy in the European regionals. Hotshot just loves playing Cho'gath in general. Behind Needly is probably his second most famous champion. He's going to be all about that. So now, right now, Legion knows what the solo lanes are, they know what the jungle is, and they know that actually all those guys can 1v2, so they need to be afraid of lane swaps as well.
Yeah, and you know, something to look for when we watch Hotshot Cho'gath is he never dies. It's kind of like his Mundo. Watch how much they have to fight him to get him to go down. And oddly enough, we were saying that it would usually be St. Vicious to play an unorthodox jungler like this. You don't really see Cho'gath in the jungle. But for them to pull this out, a really great strategy, and I think it gives them that really big tanky front line they need for the composition. A lot of gap closers coming in from Legion. It looks like they're going pure aggression.
Yeah, and CLG really picking their picks confidently.
Yes.
They knew exactly what they wanted to go for. The extremely aggressive combination overall with the Taric Graves combo there on the quote-unquote bottom lane, though I'm sure it's going somewhere else. They have the ability to actually, I'm a little bit afraid for Legion because they picked up Irelia. Irelia is not a great 1 versus 2, whereas all of CLG's picks can go anywhere on the map. Graves Taric can shut down a lane, or they can fight 2v2 just fine. Orianna and Vladimir can both farm and shield or sustain from range. Everything on CLG is going to work in every single lane. Legion, Gragas can do it. Corki can do it, depending on what they pick on top of that. And if they went for Blitz, then okay, Corki Blitz could shut down one of the solo lanes. Or they pick out the long-range initiation. Corki Leona can also shut down a solo lane. So suddenly, by picking this aggressive support, they do have the option to react to a lane swap. In game 1, they grabbed Soraka. Soraka does not create aggression. It does not create scary situations, and Voyboy was fine to 1v2 against a Soraka. This time around, they've got Leona Corki. Leona Corki can zone you out. Leona Corki can kill you. They might go for lane swap. If Gragas gets into a bad 1v2, that's fine because they're going to make a great 2v1 somewhere else. But they need to be careful about Irelia. Right now, I'm going to call if Irelia gets put into a bad lane, Legion's going to be in really bad shape right at the start of this game.
Yeah, I really like the synergy between the Corki, Leona. Yeah, any AD carry can really work off that Sunlight passive that Leona will put onto a champion as she gets one of her abilities off. But with the amount of burst that Corki can put out, it complements that bottom lane so well. However, Double Lift Taric, that extra armor is going to help to mitigate some of that damage. So they've done a really good job at just countering that lane and kind of bringing it back to even on these guys being in each other's face. They have to be careful. Both have that long-range stun. Leona's going to have to get herself into the fight to do that, but it's usually an easy walkout initiation.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. CLG's overall initiation, right? You're talking about, Orianna and all that. The initiation, really good, honestly, on both sides. Everyone can come in from nowhere. Everyone can stun. This is going to be, a slugfest type battle. We're going to kind of go back to what we saw with the rest, the other 6 games of the weekend.
Yeah.
Just hardcore fighting. CLG are going to go back on their strategies this time. They were going for split pushes. Now they're going for all-out fighting. Guys, we are ready for Game 3. Are you ready for Game 3?
All right, and as we jump into this game, the tension is crazy high in the room, guys. 120,000 plus viewers watching at home. For all of you in the crowd as well, you are catching some of the greatest League of Legends action we have ever seen in the entire scene.
And both these teams fighting against elimination. If you've just joined us, I'm sorry you missed Game 2, man. It was phenomenal. But this Game 3, whichever team loses is going home early. The team that wins moves on to the semifinal to face Dignitas. Now, they're no slouches either, but they do need to make this step right now. Now, Legion going for an interesting invade up at the top of the map. They've already kind of camped in this top lane brush. This is something we saw them do a long time ago. We saw them do it at IPL. where they kind of left their bottom lane in a brush for a very long time, waited for someone to walk in a lane and just first blooded them out of nowhere. We'll see if they go for that as well. But right now, Legion, Vladimir is standing on top of a ward. He's got to be a little bit careful there. He doesn't want to get caught out. So far, so good, though. No one's quite invading on him. But that you see right there is all kinds of scary. CLG is walking right past it, but they're going to go right into the jungle. They're not going to aggress just yet. This is going to be all kinds of interesting. The patience there from Legion means this is going to turn into something rather spectacular.
Patience is a virtue. They saw him go up. Mortis throwing possibly one of his saplings. No, he's going to wait to go up. They're going into his jungle. Do they know they can move yet? This is getting a little too separated, and it may come bad for Mortis here if they don't move. They see that Mortis is now being seen. They're moving in, though. They're going to go top side. These guys are just dancing around each other. Cat and mouse completely. They will be able to see him. Is the initiation out? He does not have Twisted Advance, so they're kind of just talking with each other as they walk along.
He's learned Body Slam, though.
May get hit here. 2 flashes go out. The Body Slam hits. The exhaust is down. And Big Fat LP finds himself out of position for, again, Legion, first blood of the match.
Wow, great job overall. He learned Body Slam at level 1, realizing that he had them stuck around. The patience, they basically acted as a ward right there and saw that mid and top lane went for the invade. Mortis, knowing that they were going for the invade, actually walked around, put a sapling down above the golem brush, wanted to make sure he was safe. But all said and done, there was a golem buff being stolen. Hot shot on Cho'gath did take that golem buff away. Mortis will not have that. He will walk in, be empty-handed, shed a few tears, and try to get back to his jungle.
That's going to be very big, especially that kill coming up onto Leona. Going to get a quick GP under her belt. That gold generation item, ward up the bottom. Would have been better going to somebody else, but she is going to be happy taking that, as she can probably go for that Philo quite quickly. She actually went back to get a few more wards for herself.
Yeah, I don't like this choice here by Legion, though, overall. They put themselves in a 2 versus 1 at top lane, and they could do some damage to Voyboy here on Vladimir, but Irelia is not going to like life against Blitzcrank Taric. Not Blitzcrank Taric, sorry, Graves Taric. And the thing here is CLG is not going to sit there and zone out Irelia. They're going to sit there and push to the turret and take it down as fast as humanly possible. And that's not a good place to be for Legion. The first game we saw them lose a bunch of turrets early, it snowballed out of the way really, really fast. I don't think they want to repeat history here.
Like you said, that double lane not really affecting Voyboy too much. Coming in huge, the Arcane Smash going down, and Big Fat is going to get camped for the rest of this game probably. The second kill coming up just a few minutes later, this time going to Gragas in middle on Prolly. He's going to be very fat after that one. You do not want to give Gragas that early AP. The ratio on his Q will throw you out of lane quickly.
Yeah, this is really, really good overall because he burned that flash so early. And he's got to revisit that mid lane, man. We talked about Mortis getting ahead early and converting ganks. So far, he's done so. That great level 1 kill, the body slam from Gragas that made that one happen. And then he's like, great, I'm level 3, so I have my root. Let's go for it. And they know that flash is down. Big Fat still 80 seconds on his flash. They can come back again in the next 2 minion waves, and they'll turn it into a kill again.
We saw Vladimir forced to pull on that one. Voyboy not feeling too good about the initiation. He did a little bit of damage to himself as Sanguine Pool does that 20% of your current health as the Zenith Blade came in from Noobish. So he does have a way to keep himself safe, but those cooldowns aren't really going to matter too much in lane. With Corki's auto attacks being so strong, he's just going to be able to sit there and continuously attack. Sanguine Pool is only going to keep him safe for a short amount of time, and you can actually see the reflop between the lanes coming in now.
Yeah, I think this is overall good for Legion, though. Irelia is a good lane against Vladimir overall. They picked Irelia knowing that he was going to have to fight against Vlad, and actually I think the reason that they even went for the lane swap in the first place was they expected one from CLG overall. But now, fighting a 2-on-2 and a 1-on-1, I think they're going to be happy with that. No, actually, I'm wrong. Legion actually wants to put themselves in that situation. They've swapped themselves, so I completely miscalled it. They're happy to have Cruiser 1v2.
You know, that worked really well. Demon Maul actually going back and getting more potions because he couldn't finish the phage yet. But he is going to get himself down there with a little bit of health and damage. So going back a little bit before the phage, but I think this will factor into their favor once again. Worked for him last time. Mortis waiting down bottom to see if we can see Voyboy push up a little bit more. Both backing here. What are they going to do again? I think he might actually push towards top, get the kill on there, and then they'll switch it right back again.
Oh yeah, they definitely want to, and you're going to see Legion right here with a bit of free farm. They're going to happily shove out this lane. Irelia's actually left alone at the top lane to farm as well. I think Legion's coming out ahead in these lane swaps overall. They're up 1,500 gold. 2 kills are not worth 1,500 gold. They're pushing ahead in minion kills right now because these lane swaps are working so very, very well. think they might be happy to sit here in this bottom lane, show up against a kind of late arrival Graves Taric. I think they're okay with that overall.
So I actually thought they were going to keep that in, and Taric and Graves would push the lane, but they left it back for Voyboy. I thought he was going to creep through the bush. They were going to get a 3-man onto Cruiser, but they actually quickly went back, really leaving no time in the lane where the minions are going to waste. Hotshot GG was absorbing the experience bottom, so they're really making sure nothing around the map going to waste. They're getting themselves back into the switch up, and I don't think Legion is going to be able to switch this back once again. They're just going to start hurting their lanes.
Yeah, Irelia running backwards at top lane once more. They're happy to just sit here and say, okay, 1-1 and 2-on-2, that's fine, that's fine. Now, Big Fat's flash is back up. They won't have those easy ganks in the mid lane anymore. But the one cool thing, though, is there's an early vision ward that came out near the near the Wraiths from Legion. That means they want to sneak through that side of the jungle and gank with Gragas and Maokai on what is now the bottom lane. They want to use that to kind of snowball ahead even farther. Vladimir is very aggressive, actually has snuck all the way into the top brush as well. And we'll see if Voyboy pushes out. If he does, he will be killable.
And both of the junglers, oddly enough, going for fast boots of mobility. No defense, no armor mitigation. They're just going to go ahead and go for the aggression. Both of these teams know that the fights need to happen. Legion again up 2-0 just like last time. We saw a 2-1 game for about 15-20 minutes before they really started going neck and neck at each other once again. So with Legion pulling ahead in the beginning, they're forcing CLG to continue playing the strat that they did in second game. If this goes to 50 minutes again, it may be very bad for Chronologic Gaming.
Yeah, the late game overall, I think, is really, really great for Legion. Their team fight presence is just awesome. When you have a Maokai, you've got kind of some free late game. And if you look at the numbers, really, Vladimir's ultimate Hemo Plague, when you hit it on some enemy champions and enemy targets, they take 12% bonus damage while that Hemo Plague is on them. Vladimir's on Maokai, the Vengeful Maelstrom, it's a 20% damage reduction. So just stacking one ability on the other, Vladimir and Legion are going to come out ahead. If you look at what Gragas can do with Explosive Cast, I want to say I think it's better than what Orianna can do with her own ultimate with Command Shockwave. So
that 3-man on bottom, Nubish taking good damage. The caster minions did not do enough. Thought she had the Ignite on it, would have ticked a little bit more. See them start to back off.
Yeah, Legion just kind of staying alive. The gold lead is shrinking ever so slightly. 1,400 gold now. CLG's closed the gap by about 100 themselves, although Cruiser now has a gigantic minion wave to enjoy at the top lane. So it looks like it's still going to be a bit of a lead here for Legion. They're going to kind of push this game out. The mid game, I think, is best for them. I think Legion's mid game is phenomenal. Irelia is going to do better than Vladimir for the next 10 minutes or so before Vladimir really starts skilling throughout this game. And ultimately, the burst ability from Corki's base damage, Leona's base damage from Sunlight, that's really going to be a phenomenal set of damage here. Legion would love to fight in the next 10 minutes, I think.
We see Voyboy going for the double Doran shield, trying to keep himself sustained up there. That's going to help him regen a little bit of HP. He does have that transfusion and his abilities to revive himself with that life. He can give himself back and sustain in lane. We'll have to see what they do. It seems like a battle of potions by them. We haven't seen CLG really go back yet. Vladimir Voyboy has 5 health potions still, 2 onto Orianna in middle. The big fat LP. We're still seeing double lift with 3, so these guys being very patient in their lanes and just not going back if they don't have to.
Yeah, CLG's been the team that was actually aggressive in this bottom lane so far. Legion is the one who's been forced back a couple of times. Nubish, though, a couple items under his belt now, getting close to that Heart of Gold. He's also grabbed a couple of vision wards to really deny that ward sight from the other side. And they just spotted CLG putting a ward there by Dragon. So if Nubish can break away, he's actually running across right now. He could go for a ward and take complete vision control over this entire Dragon area.
Hotshot moving up to the jungle. Looks like they're going to be distributing the blue buff here. He does have a 10-minute Oracles on him. If he loses that soon, it may hurt him pretty good. He bought that Oracles outright and does not have a gold generation item. So if he is not clearing any wards, this is going to be very tough for him to get himself back into a defensive position.
Oh, wow. Legion has made such an amazing choice. They timed CLG's attempt for their Golem with the invade. They knew it was warded if they were paying attention, and they didn't care. They saw the bottom lane had recalled. They saw Orianna ran over to pick up a Golem buff with the help of Hotshot on Cho'gath, and they're like, great, free Dragon because everyone's missing. That was awesome. They put the pink ward down late, swept the ward. It's like, yeah, we know we started this, but no big deal. Another 1,000 gold in the lead for them. They're up now 2,700 is a really, really good lead for Legion.
Now this top lane for each other, as we look, they're both building to mitigate each other's damage as they should, but it's going to be that Wit's End and Mercury Treads coming in for Irelia. Cruiser trying to stop all that AP ability power damage. Voyboy, as I said, building up onto those Doran shields, but I think he's going to go for the regular build after this. He really doesn't need any more tankiness to that. The AP is going to do that with his HP.
Yeah, absolutely. Vladimir's going to be just kind of, he doesn't really mind that he bought those Doran shields. Getting free ability power out of health is great. So, and you know, just in general, Vladimir is a great scaling champion. You know, again, this early and mid game is really, really good for Legion. They got the first bloods. They've got a couple of really beefy champions overall, and Vladimir's not going to do much for the next 5 minutes or so. And so, yeah, Legion's going to love to keep doing these things and playing aggressively and picking up advantages. But Counterlogic Gaming, what they want to do is push that late game, and you know that's going to be the best interest right now because the mid game is just scary for them.
Looks like Legion pushing a little bit up top. Aurelia more than happy to keep that lane at the 75% mark. Very dangerous to farm across the river without having vision, especially on that purple side. You do have the tri-bush behind you, and you can see now being safe. She says, I'm going to check this and be a ward for myself as she hides in the bush.
Yep, that's fine. Going to make sure that nothing sneaks up. Want to make sure that they're safe. And when you're the team that's ahead, of course, you really have to look out for ganks overall. Being ahead on champion and minion kills, you know, when you kind of push up near the enemy turret, it's a lot easier to get flanked, a lot easier to get jumped on. So you really need great ward coverage. And if you yourself want to play a ward like your Evelyn 2 months ago, then do it. But in this case, you know, everyone's going to be a really great fighter overall. And then they just have to make sure they don't get jumped on unaware.
Again, Gragas piecing together his builds as well. Possibly what we've seen lately, that fast Abyssal Scepter, as he has the Negatron Cloak. Orianna going for that Catalyst, so possibly into the Rod of Ages if she chooses to, or just got that for the sustain and lane against Gragas because he's been very dominant. He's been able to push out a lane a few times. Big Fat with that blue just continuing to farm. They are 91 to 117, so you can just see where the AoE of Gragas in that barrel, continuously pushing it in a lot faster than Orianna can throw out Dissonance.
Yeah, Leona is level 6 though. CLG could get jumped on here, but Hotshot is waiting in the wings, and I don't think they know he was there. He snuck around the side, and he's waiting in the tri-brush. I think he knows that Vladimir is waiting around. They're going to jump in on double. A lot of damage being dealt off the side. He's going to flash, dash away. A lot of damage here being dealt everywhere. Even though will cleanse out, ultimately, no kills quite happening. Hotshot spent less time waiting than Mortis, so I gotta say the trade's a bit in favor for CLG just because Hotshot got a bit more farm out of that situation overall. But a nice try by Legion. They did force out Double Lift, so they're gonna get a couple of extra minion kills out of that as well.
Voyboy starting to dominate his lane back in the other direction. Is Hotshot going back down to the bottom lane, feeling confident about this, knowing there were no wards. They are right on top of the turret, popping up Nubish as he got tunnel vision down the turret. He had no time to turn around. The exhaust comes out, but there's just too much burst from Corki, and a very good focus there. Hotshot came in, but he took Chaucer out. He said Chaucer's going to be able to dazzle a lot faster than that'll happen. Looks like we got Probably coming in as well. Probably moving his way out, just missing the rupture. And it looks like they're all going to have 3 down at bottom here as they kind of battle this one out, saying this is a good initiation by both. We're a little low on mana and health. Back off right into the next fight.
Yep, and you're going to see a little bit of free minion kills here for Double Lift overall. He's going to be happy with that one. And now let's take stock of these lanes here. We're about 15 minutes in. Let's break it down lane by lane. So top lane here, we're looking at Voyboy versus Cruiser. Vladimir, 87 minions. Irelia, 96. So, you know, Cruiser from Legion, you know, no gold from kills or assists, nothing really special there, no turrets or anything. He's got the dragon, okay, but they're pretty much tied right now. I think Vladimir has a slightly better late game overall, but we're not there yet. So right now, consider Cruiser a bigger factor in the battle than Voyboy. Now let's switch over. We're looking at bottom lane here. We see Demon Lull on Corki. He's got an assist. He's got 103 minions. He's against Graves with 121. No assist. Double Lift, honestly, a bit scarier. Now the difference though is that Demon Lull, he's going for a Trinity Force, so his mid game is going to be phenomenal. He's going to have a lot of burst damage. He's going to have a little bit of crowd control from the Phage. He's going to have a lot of burst. You know, he's going to be very, very scary. But Double Lift, you know, he's going to scale a little bit better once he starts completing items. Right now, just a BF sword, not so scary. But he's fast forward maybe 5-10 minutes. Double Lift's going to really pull ahead from that one. The supports on both sides, they have a lot of crowd control. They can both force battles. But ultimately, Double Lift's just a bit scarier. That bottom lane a bit better for Counterlogic Gaming.
Freak, as we look into this 15-minute part of the match here, 19,000 to 17,000 gold. Actually see Hotshot GG off in the wings, being seen by a ward as he placed one. And as he placed it in the bush, he was like, hey, there may be one in here. Leona just came from this area. Going to go ahead and clear that. Somewhat not forcing the back, but it means it's a good time for Legion to go back. You have 3 down bottom. The top lane could be focused here, knowing where that jungler is. And it looks like as he saw him down bottom, Vladimir taking advantage of that, and he goes ahead and steals away the Wraiths.
Yeah, really nice overall. And the other good advantage here for Legion is that they've got more gold generation items. Look down at the scoreboard on the bottom right. Philosopher's Stone Heart of Gold on Leona, Philosopher's Heart of Gold on Maokai. You look over on the same side for CLG, just the Heart of Gold on Cho'gath, and Chauster on Taric. He's not completed anything yet, so that first blood that Leona got at the very beginning, that allowed her to really start getting rich. We saw that game 1 from Chauster. He got first blood on Sona, and he really snowballed ahead there. Leona's got 3,000 gold to 2,200 just because of that one kill, starting to build more advantages with the items.
Legion again playing the map position very strong. They see Hotshot GG. They just pinged that ward there. They actually told Hotshot the ward was there. They just pinged him and said, you walked by one. As he's trying to focus that top, you're going to see Irelia come back to the lane, and as she may jump onto Cruiser here, it's going to be Hotshot right on her backside. And Cruiser knows that he is in a bit of danger, so he's going to hug that turret.
Yeah, he would have seen the ward get killed, though we can't see Cho'gath anymore. He doesn't know for sure if he's behind him, but it's a pretty likely scenario overall. So Cruiser playing it safe, staying at his turret, not aggressing onto Voyboy is the right call. The Voyboy's been sitting on those 2 Doran shields for a while. He's going back to base. He's got a lot of money right now. Picks up Sorcerer Shoes and a Haunting Guise all at once. So suddenly 40 magic penetration been picked up on that top lane. We saw a similar build from Cruiser on Rumble. Now we're seeing it from Voyboy on Vladimir, relying on his base damages and using magic penetration to deal a lot of damage mid-game. Suddenly a big power spike for Vladimir.
Corki forced the Valkyrie here, but he clears the minion wave quickly, getting a few free shots on double lift along with the turret shot. Good heal there from Taric, also giving himself a little bit of HP. Coming up the bush, Hotshot not getting that gold generation item is most likely made it up with that Oracles by clearing the wards. He's been doing a very great job, but he does have those items that he needs under his belt. Looks like he may be going for more defense. The Frozen Heart would be applicable for the match for that Corki and the Wits and Irelia, so we'll have to see what he decides to build into. Probably not able to body slam across. A great Orianna ball, but here comes Maokai. Beautiful ultimate. He's going to mitigate some damage. Can he make it out? No. Big Bat taking him down. Those Orianna auto attacks stacking in damage as he continues to hit, and it looks like they're going to force the flash from Vladimir here. Hotshot will decide to stay on one side, and they look like to get some dissonance speed out of that one, but it was just not the initiation they wanted.
Yeah, a great collapse there by CLG made that battle happen. Vladimir could not show up on time, and ultimately, you know, probably could not disengage them quickly enough either. The explosive cask eventually came out, but it just didn't do very much.
Bottom lane, Chauster gets the dazzle off. Is he going to get it? Nubish was backing right in their vision. Oh, Nubish getting taken out in a situation he could have quickly walked away from.
Wow, and CLG, just like that, have turned the game on its head. 2 kills for nothing in a row. Picked up a turret as well. They're only down 1,000 gold, and at 19 minutes in, 1,000 gold means nothing. CLG really doing a great job in different lanes, winning each fight.
Again, pushing up top. They are going super aggressive once again. CLG leaving nothing to chance here. They want every lane down, and they will dominate the top lane.
Wow. 3 kills now. They're getting that gold closer and closer. Probably trying to chase down, but I don't think he's going to quite catch up to CLG. They're making their way out. They look pretty safe. No, he's not going to go for the flank. He was putting a ward down. If he had kept going through, he probably would have gotten caught out by Graves by this point, so they will back off. And double lift, he's really going for a late game build here. He's built an Infinity Edge instead of a Bloodthirster, so he wants to just straight up fight people and land basic attacks over and over, more so than just being a burst caster. He's going to be a scary force in this game.
Oh wow, CLG, double lift and Chauster both knowing that Gragas was a little out of position. He wanted to push really hard, so they just went towards top lane. This is also going to benefit them because they probably wanted that entire amount of farm. Looks like they're going to trade the turrets here. CLG already with 1 turret. This will be 2 for them as Irelia will not get there in time, but Demon Lol is going to do a very nice job of trying to equal that up. No, Hotshot almost saving the turret rather. The minions, those purple caster minions, doing some work.
Definitely a lot of work. I heard the cheer back there, by the way, for the purple caster minions. You guys don't always hear the crowd at home. Trust me, they are loud. Last time we had them cheer, I've got noise-canceling headphones on, and it hurt my ears through those. The guy cheered for the purple caster minion. It's awesome. We love you guys here. 20 minutes in, guys, again, this is Game 3 of the North American Regionals. Give us a round for how awesome these games are, everybody.
favorite teams facing off against each other. Our first best of 3 of the North American Regionals at PAX here. We are on day 2. We had to start 1 day early due to all the League of Legends matchups that we had. It just could not be contained in the 3 days of PAX. So now in this second day, we get our first best of 3 between some of the best teams we're seeing right now. Chronologic Gaming, a historical favorite in the League of Legends community. Legion, a recent upstart that can play so aggressive that they take history and they say, we're going to throw that out. We're going to show you something new.
Yeah, and just absolutely phenomenal overall. CLG really changing strategies between games right here. It's the first team I've really seen really bring out something very, very different in the middle of a series. You know, we saw interesting picks overall. We've seen a lot of teams, you know, come up with different stuff. You know, Digging the Toss back at IPL, I think it was 4, kind of had that protect the Kog'Maw strategy with the triple support. That was the first time we really saw something completely out of the ordinary, and it was really awesome to look at. CLG actually had to fight against that, and ultimately what they had to do was ban out some of those champions to make it work. CLG here bringing their own special sauce here, playing very interesting push-oriented strategies. Sweep out this ward here. Probably, he's revealed by a ward. He's not going to be able to get the steal very easily. He might try. It's getting low. Will not be enough damage. They knew he was around. CLG will get their blue for themselves, though it's going to be on Hotshot.
Not a bad thing, although Big Fat does have that low mana right now, and for Dissonance to be able to come up, that shield to be able to come up is huge. We saw SK Ocelot using that to an enormous extent as we were at Gamescom in Germany. Without that blue buff, he's not going to be able to be that much of a utility assistance to his team, but he will still have that front end burst.
There we go. They actually found Chouster right there. A bit of burst. He's forced to flash away. Takes his shield there from his teammate Orianna. He's going to be fine. Recording a flash, never a bad thing. They might catch him again later.
And we see Hotshot GG getting into that very tanky position now. He does grab himself that chain vest. Wards going out all over. Loudamortis right there with an Oracles as well as Hotshot. So they're seeing these wards, but they know to commit to them may be a little too much. Hotshot getting a few down. It looks like he may be able to grab this one. Going down all over a fight of wards, actually, as they just keep getting placed.
Yeah, this is what happens when you both have Oracles and Dragon is up. This is the first time CLG actually wants Dragon for themselves. They are sweeping so much map vision away from Legion. Vladimir is behind the wall. He needs to get in there and reveal these wards to give themselves some sight here. They don't want to get caught unaware. They can just see. CLG just knows everything that Legion is doing right now. They've got so much ward coverage. And Vladimir is not fully ward sweeping right now. One hit to go on that one there. They pick up that ward. But again, they're still completely in vision right here. CLG going for a rupture. They will not quite land that. They're still dancing back and forth. CLG, I like their positioning more overall. I think they've got the better sort of poke strategy. But if Legion can get the one good engage, this fight's going to mean so very much. It could be a 5-0 either way. I don't know if either team's going to really back off right now. Probably is actually going to push down one of these minion waves. CLG have not yet started the Dragon.
They're keeping themselves on right on the outside. Now both teams looking for a high-timed cooldown to miss, or one of the crowd controls to lock on the person you want. If they were to go in, Nubish to accidentally Zenith Blade Hotshot, he would probably walk out on that. They really don't want to. Hotshot's just going to rupture under himself and shut that down, as CLG has the right to stay on the outside of the fight. Right now, they're really waiting for that missed initiation or the right initiation. A turret has gone down in this situation right now, so they're able to get back on that. They still have good ward coverage. They still have the edge. And right now, these guys are just putting on a dance show for us.
Yeah, but the top lane now, we just saw the mid lane die mostly to minions here. Legion getting a kill there. The top lane, that was massive for Counter Logic Gaming. Now the cannon minion has just died, so it's going to start dropping a bit faster to the turret. But overall, that turret's going to reach probably maybe a half health even from the minion wave here. And it's not too easy for Legion to keep pushing in. They're actually getting a little bit more bold here. You see they've moved forward. They're now right under this dragon pit. They've built themselves a bit of room. Now a pink ward coming down. CLG does not want to give up sight here. He's spending a bit of his mana. If he had Golem buff, he'd like that. But ultimately, he's just burning a little bit of his mana pool, trying to put them at bay. So much just poke spam coming out from Loudamortis. That rank 1 sapling toss, trying to deal some damage. They've now revealed this other ward, and that Oracle's going to be enough. They'll pick up that turret kill. Rupture goes off. They might go into this one. There's the Maelstrom. CLG kind of going in. They put the silence down, but they're not fully engaging. They get a lot of free damage on Nubish, though, and they're going to like that.
They really need Nubish. He is one of the tankier ones for them. Maokai's going to have to put himself in there, as well as Nubish. they don't have the long-range initiation right now. Leona actually does have that solar flare-up, so they can initiate, and that is going to be Counter Logic Gaming having the better dance moves, and they are finally going to pick up Dragon there. Nobody went down in the exchange, but we saw that they were able to push them out in the initiation. It was just that 1/2 second. Somebody did something wrong. Nubish took half his health, and that was for the factor of being able to take the objective.
Yeah, really good job by CLG. Still 1,000 gold does separate these teams. That turret equalizer was a very big deal for Legion, and now Irelia getting up to the top lane. Now the interesting also thing that happened here as well was that the game was on pause for a few minutes there because they were dancing. So, you know, when the items you would normally expect to see at 26 minutes, they're going to show up a few minutes later than that because no one really got to farm for quite a while. Probably got a couple of minion waves because you could run and farm that and come back to reach with his team. You know, the turret's still equalizing overall. So everyone's a little bit poorer than they would expect to be at this stage of the game. The jungle monsters are a bit stronger, that Baron, all things like that. It's going to be a little bit interesting. It shouldn't make shouldn't make too many changes for these teams overall. The map got a little bit stronger than they're used to, but ultimately, I don't think neutral monsters and lane minions are really going to pose a threat for these teams. But you never know. It'll make these slight changes here. The turrets are a bit stronger, minions are a bit stronger. Maybe we'll just slightly offset how some of these battles go. But still, 1,000 gold difference, 1 kill difference. It's just neck and neck right now. This game still, it means elimination. You win, you move on to the semis. Now, it's going to be a hard opponent having to fight against Dignitas, but still, both would rather fight Dignitas than lose at this point. Yeah, for sure. They really need to get this win in. Like we've been saying, at the culmination of a year's worth of work, and even longer. The beginning of the League of Legends season was back in 1. That was taken by Fnatic in the season championship, who actually don't get to make it this year. So it's going to be someone new. Is it the upstart Legion to take out one of the favorites of the North American scene, Counter Logic Gaming? The first game from Counter Logic was absolutely amazing. They pulled out the Korean strategy and were able to take it. Big Fat getting aggressed on here. The ultimate going down half out, but Big Fat may go down. He lives as the Boy now being the one to take the damage. Demon Low is forced the Valkyrie away. A sliver of health as the Sanguine Pool comes out. They are still initiating. The shield goes down and may keep him alive. Vladimir is trying his best, but amazing team synergy from Counter Logic Gaming keeps everyone alive. And Jouster, the support, finding a kill on the AD carry Demon Low. The only takedown of that. Graves doing work up top. Double lift not even with his team right now. CLG perfectly composing themselves in this matchup and using the jungle to their advantage. Wow, nice move by Jouster, getting that assassination. Legion nearly picking up 2 different kills there. The Big Fat kept himself alive. Hotshot put out the silence to keep him in there. And then Voyboy waiting on that Sanguine Pool until the last second. Got in range of his team, got that shield. Legion could not quite land those last few abilities, pick that one up. And suddenly, CLG, look at that, they're up 500 gold. Got a turret overall. CLG's liking this right now. You can see Legion just kind of going back to their jungle, picking up a bit of gold there. The gold generation is still a big deal overall. You're looking at about 5 on their side, and only 3 here for Counter Logic Gaming. So as far as passive gold generation goes, Legion's gaining 1 extra gold per second. It's not a ton when you consider everyone's farming, getting kills, things like that, but it's just a small advantage here that's kind of pushing Legion ahead, kind of driving them forward. Though they're down 500 gold thanks to the earlier turret kill and champion kill, they've still got a lot that can sway the game back in their favor. Demon Low getting a lot tankier. You can see he's got that Trinity Force, the BF sword. Might be a Bloodthirster, might be an Infinity Edge, but we'll see if he can catch up to what Double Lift has. Yeah, very big items coming out here. He is a little far behind that. Infinity Edge is going to be able to burst out per those basic attacks. Corki's going to have to rely on that Sheen proc to cool down. Now the Trinity Force proc as he has completed the full recipe item. So it's going to be a little bit different, but as long as he can stay on the outside, that proc comes up quite often. And with the burst that Corki can do, especially as I was saying, synergizing with the Leona ult, if he can get his mechanics down onto those champions as well, is going to be near the same as that Infinity Edge. Well, CLG starts up on Baron. It's at half health. Gragas is far away, but Legion knows that they're doing this. They will force CLG to back off. And it's weird, CLG is the one team I've seen start Baron, leave, and then leave with like full health. Hotshot was so tanky, he didn't take almost any pain from this battle whatsoever. Oh my gosh, Legion going for a counterattack down the mid lane. They could take this turret pretty quickly, but the flank is going to be on from CLG. They are 5 strong, and they are right behind them. Legion's going to have to run down into the jungle. There's nothing quite available for them here. CLG actually, they're poised to get this middle turret down. It's down to 1/3 health, and I don't think Legion's going to want to try to counter push against that. They're going to get back to mid themselves. They're going to spot them on both sides. The ward goes down just to see if Legion was waiting around the corner. Well, they were. And now both teams are going to stand off.
Playing very safe right now. You saw Counterlogic Gaming not continuing that chase as they headed down. They knew they were seen, so they went back up to clear the wards. Just kind of milling about right now. 30 minutes into this matchup, the gold is completely even at 38,600. It's 4-2 in favor of CLG. They weren't able to bring that score lead back into their favor until very late of the last game, but it was still Legion to come out on top. Will they be able to come out with that again? Baron taking quite a bit of damage now as they move in, and they have not stolen a great smite by Hotshot GG towards the exploding cask, and they are able to walk away with Baron Nashor.
CLG so amazing at Barons. They're one of the most consistent teams at it overall, and they love starting it early and often. Again, this team, they just refuse to take damage while trying to kill Baron. They've got the shield from Orianna, the heal from Taric. Voidboy can sustain himself as well. Hotshot overall is Cho'gath, and extremely tanky and just really won't be trifled with, even against something like Baron. He had a great timing there on the Beast Smite combo, making sure he could drop that one down, even beating out a perfectly timed explosive cast from Crawley. Against almost anyone else that would have worked, but Hotshot with the perfect mechanics, bursting that one down at the last possible second. So now for the next 3.5 minutes, Counterlogic Gaming has a significant advantage in, I mean, they've got a little bit of an advantage in Golden Experience by killing Baron, but their attack damage and ability powers are all very high right now. So just the ability to fight is so much in CLG's favor. Legion needs to be very, very afraid.
Both of these teams really comping into a lot of their core items right now. They're just recipeing in. We can see that Cho'gath, that Hotshot GG, going for the Wardens and wants to finish that into the Randuin soon, but he's also piecing together a few things. Getting that Aegis of the Legion quick, just like Vladimir, to assist the team. We see that a lot in the Korean play, that they're all about the auras. And right now in this part of the game, it's going to be very helpful for your team. We've seen how much Gragas can just split through the magic resistance with his Abyssal Scepter. A little bit of help from Maokai. They don't have too much AP, but that's going to be a very nice item for him.
Yep, and they're just going to keep on pushing through. Just over and over. CLG wants to push right now. They've got the advantage with this Baron buff. Their sustain is so very high. Health regeneration also bestowed thanks to that Baron buff. And so Counterlogic Gaming wants to turn this turret kill count into 6. They've got 4 right now. That's pretty good overall. Ooh, an explosive cast going off. A bit of a waste, honestly. A 45-second cooldown left on that. And CLG says, no explosive cast. Great, we'll keep pushing on. Legion, they do a bit of damage here, but still, Orianna, such a poke master, drops Demon Low about a third of his health.
This is where CLG has to say, this looks a little familiar. Legion with their second-tier turret in mid. Are they going to be able to do this again and hold it out? 20 more minutes to go if they are to repeat the last matchup. Our first best out of 3 in this day, going to a third match, in this tournament, I should say, going to a third match. The initiation on Vladimir, he is stuck down. The Orianna also splits him in half. Orianna coming up huge. Very nice initiation there, and they will have this inhibitor turret. You are not going to be able to stop that Cho'gath, but it looks like they don't have minions. Right now, they're actually trading turret damage to themselves. The minion wave is quite far down, but they are going to stay at the front door of Legion's base.
Yeah, they've still got 25 seconds until Vladimir' Maokai respawns. The 5-on-4 with Baron buff, meaning it's basically a 6-on-4 right now. As they wait for this minion wave to arrive, there is almost nothing that can stop them. Cho'gath tanks the turret, puts the shield on as well. He's going to be happy to tank that up. And there we go. You see Double just poking down this turret. So much damage. That turret will fall. Now the inhibitor is available in this mid lane. Vladimir will respawn here. We'll see if Legion can make a 5-on-5 happen for them. The 5-on-2 kill lead is a 6-on-2 turret lead. They've still got that Baron buff for another 35 seconds. CLG will walk away unscathed and move towards this top lane. They're not done pushing.
No, they are not. That Baron buff needs to be utilized. They only have about 30 seconds left on it, so they are going to have to be very quick with this. That turret is taking a lot of damage and already had before as they focus these lanes, and we talked about that strategy before. Not taking a lane turret down if you can't, but leaving it low for this situation. When you want the huge push, when you want to take that power play advantage. Baron helps that, and so does taking down all these objectives. The global gold is just immense right now for CLG.
Yeah, they're now 5,000 gold up, and that was almost entirely from everything they've taken so far. They only got the 1 champion kill in the last few minutes. That was that pickoff on a Vladimir, but they were tied in gold And then, about 4 minutes ago, they were tied in gold. Now they're up 4,000 because Turret, Baron Nashor, they can retreat and go for Dragon right now if they want to. If they all just said, you know what, let's just run south, they could do it and take that. But CLG, they smell blood. They think they can take out this turret right now. A slow off, a great knockup, but it's only on the hot shot right now. They're going to burst him down. He is so low, they might actually kill a Cho'gath. No, the shield comes off. A double kill from Vladimir. Legion's not liking this one. He's going to flash outwards. Double lift. Smells blood. He's going to go in. Picks up one. He's going for a second. Can Demon Lord get away from this one? Looks like he will, but no one from CLG has dropped. They're moving on to the Nexus now, and they might be able to do enough damage. The first turret looks like it's going to fall. These second turrets look like it's going to be falling as well. Probably very, very low. Can they do the damage? Yes, they can. They're moving on to the Nexus now. CLG looking poised for the quarterfinal. 2-1. Will they get it? Yes. Counter Logic Gaming moves on to tomorrow.
What an amazing matchup. CLG finally finding their footing again, losing first blood into the second blood, and then saying, slow this one down. Legion had our book last time. They know the plays. Let's go.